football here on PlayOnSports.com's YouTube broadcast. We are here in Vacaville, California, where the Vacaville Bulldogs, are going to be taking on the Rodriguez High Mustangs. Vacaville is coming in here 5-3 overall. However, they are 3-0 in league. While on the other side, Rodriguez High School has been running into a bit of trouble. The Mustangs are 2-6 overall and 0-3. Greg Cotta alongside Jason Patterson. Jason, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm interested to see this game. We got Vacaville High coming in tied for number 25 in the Sac-Joaquin section, so ranked pretty high here in the area. And we're going to start it off right now with the Mustangs getting the ball first.
Mustangs are going to get the ball first. They're in the white and green, going from left to right across your laptop keyboard, and they are going to get the ball all the way to about the 33. Black and orange in a quite an October-style color scheme here are the Bulldogs, and they're going to be coming out on defense.
Yeah, they came out to AC/DC's back in black, so they're out here. They're trying to put a hurting on these Mustangs. Coming out, like I said, ranked 25 with a high rushing attack led by Curtis Goins, the senior. So I'm kind of interested to see what he's doing. I've been looking up at him all week, and he seems like the straight weapon for the Bulldogs. So kind of see how he goes tonight.
Now here comes Rodriguez High in shotgun formation, their quarterback being Jacob Hurt for the evening, a 5'10" junior, as he waits to get both the ball and the play from the sideline. He's going to be starting off with decent field position. Ball spotted around the 30. So a shift is going to be happening toward the ball as it's placed properly on the hash mark. Two wide receivers to the right. And Hurt's going to take the low snap, throw the screen off to his side, and it looks like the carrier is going to get the ball back toward the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, not a bad reception there and run. He kind of wasn't left with anything to make happen, and he turned it into a loss. No, actually, it was a loss, so he got a loss of 1, but he turned a loss of 6 into a loss of 1. So, nonetheless, not too bad of a play for the running back.
Now, Jason, I know you and we tend to try to find the big bodies pretty early, and I'm noticing out on the field right now is Alex Reed, a 6'3", 305-pound senior. He's going to be lined up in the right guard position, so let's keep an eye out for him. Shotgun formation, dropping back, and a slant route's going to go all the way down the field. This could be it, ladies and gentlemen. This is a huge touchdown. Big reception coming from number 15, Aaron Short. And just like that, Rodriguez is up 6-0.
Man, what a pass right across the middle. He led his wide receiver perfectly to where only his receiver could catch the ball. The receiver had a couple extra steps and turned that into 6 points. What a play by the Mustangs coming out here to show that they are not trying to come out here and lose. They drove all the way from Fairfield tonight to come to Vacaville to play the Bulldogs, and they're starting out this game wonderfully well.
So here comes the extra point unit. And it looks like we've got a rather big kicker, one that we're larger than we're typically used to. As I thought he was the one holding the snap, but he's got the leg and he's got the accuracy, so 7-0 is the score. Only a minute burned off of that clock. Here we are at 11:02.
Yeah, that was Eduardo Nuno on the kick. We got him listed as a junior, 6'2", 220 pounds. He's coming in there like Sebastian Janikowski for the Raiders. I'm surprised, or I'm kind of interested to see if maybe he's got the leg like him. He's definitely got the body build, so let's see what kind of leg he's got in him. But nonetheless, he puts that one through to take him up 7-0 here with 11 minutes, 2 seconds to go in the first quarter. Let's see how this explosive Vacaville offense goes, getting the ball here for the first time. They're coming into this game with an average rushing yards of 315.1 yards per game and an average passing of 114.9 yards per game. So obviously they're a huge run team. I think we talked about it earlier. They had a total of 16 different kids who have touched the ball on rushing plays, so constantly rushing the ball. So let's see. Like I said earlier, led by Curtis Goins, who's already had 667 yards and 6 touchdowns this year with a long one of 52 yards. So he's definitely a threat in the backfield.
Back to return here for Vacaville High. 2 receivers to our right, including Jacob Teo, toward the top of your screen, and on the other side here, looks like Curtis Goins. As the band plays on, the cheerleaders get ready to hop on their boxes, and it it looks like there's going to be a big opportunity here for Vacaville as they are starting down 0-7 in a situation that they really don't want to be in. However, here's going to be the ball kicked off to Jacob Teo. He's going to receive around his own 10, follows his blockers all the way to around the 30-yard line. So again, Jason, here comes the Vacaville offense, and as you mentioned, they have earlier before the broadcast, you were telling me that they have one stud of a running back.
Yeah, Curtis Goins, he's a senior here, listed as let's see, sorry, halfback. I don't have anything how tall he is or anything, but the kid can play from what I'm seeing here from the rushing yards. He's got a lot of rushing yards. He's also the leading receiver and with the most receiving touchdowns for the Vacaville Bulldogs. So.
Now he's going to start out in that solo back position. However, Nick Ardave is going to be throwing on the run, finds his target, and the pass is complete to Tyler Cummins.
What a play by Ardave. He was able to get out there, and he threw a bullet on the run and threw it across his body. That was a very nice play for a young quarterback. Definitely, we're looking at these stats. They're not a very big passing team, but after watching that pass, I'm kind of curious as to why, because that was a wonderful throw on the run by Ardave.
Definitely, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But again, wide receiver motions often showing going to be runs from them. However, here comes the guy of the night, and that is Curtis Goins. He was able to drag some tacklers for an easy first down.
Yeah, he picked up that first down easily. If somebody wouldn't have got a hold of that jersey, he looked like he was going for 6 on that play. Nonetheless, they dragged him down, but he did pick up the first down, so first down for the Bulldogs. We got 10 minutes, 20 seconds to go here in the first quarter with the Bulldogs trailing the Mustangs by 7 points.
Ardave is going to line up under center, and he's going to pitch back to Goins. Goins is going to sweep to the outside, met by a few tacklers, but he's still going to gain about 4 yards.
Yeah, and a pretty solid pickup there. He had 2 linebackers lined up ready to tackle him. He ended up splitting the defense and picked up a couple extra yards, turned a no gain into a gain of 4. So good play by Goins to keep that ball moving forward.
So 2nd and 6, 9:50 on the game clock. And Vacaville finding themselves down a touchdown early despite their dominance in the area. Big front here, but only 3 wide receivers, and that's going to be an end around to the wide receiver, David Mewborn. And he's going to go for more than the first down. So after that run, it looks like Vacaville's going to have a first down from their 25-yard line with 9:20, excuse me, my apologies, 9:20 to go on the clock. And that's going to be a drop the middle after a few fake options. Not going to go for much, though, 2nd and long.
Yeah, so the Bulldogs have come out here looking fairly good on offense to start off on their first drive. So driving that ball, we got a 2nd and 9.
And here's going to be Ardave rolling out, still on his feet, throws deep toward the end zone. He's got it! He has his target! What a beautiful play on the reception there. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to have to wait for the results. However, that is a beautiful throw. And it was Jeremy Sweeney, number 91, who I would not expect that number to be running deep, but a great play for the tight end. However, there's Laundry on the field. So we're going to have to wait to hear from the referee. Despite this penalty, though, that was a beautiful throw, and the flag has been waved.
Man, that was a big boy down there in that end zone. I don't have any stats for any of the Vacaville Bulldogs, so I don't know exactly how tall he is. But 91 being the tight end, he's pretty high numbered, so obviously he's a pretty big boy. He was definitely not a body I was expecting to see in the back of the end zone. Nonetheless, wide open, was able to get the feet down after he juggled the ball and brought it in. First 6 points, so Vacaville Bulldogs on the board.
Speaking of big numbers, here is number 99 for Vacaville High, Alberto Escobedo. And he's going to be kicking the ball for the extra point. The kick is up, and it's going right. However, it is good. So 7-7, 8:50 on the clock. Jason, it looks like we might have a good old-fashioned shootout going here.
Yeah, it seems that way. Two teams came out right away, got 7 points, so it definitely seems like to be a shootout, which is always interesting to watch.
So, again, 8:50 on the clock. as Vacaville, the fans here have really come out in strong numbers. It's fun to walk into a football community where it seems like all the houses are quiet, nobody's home, everybody is here for the game.
Yeah, they got to run out of a cool blow-up thing, too. I want to run out of the Bulldog blow-up thing. I'm always jealous of the high schools where you come out and they have the cool blow-up thing and the smoke. And they came out to the good music, too.
It's almost like some good oldfashioned wrestling.
It's a good atmosphere. Nonetheless, we got 8 minutes, 50 seconds to go with the tie ball game at 7 between the Vacaville Bulldogs and the Rodriguez Mustangs. So far, it's been it's all offensive game. A quick touchdown by the Mustangs and a nice drive by the Bulldogs to answer back to keep it at 7. So let's see if maybe one of these two teams' defenses can't pick up a 3-and-out or a turnover or something like that and get the ball back in their offense's hands, because obviously both offenses have proved to be able to score tonight.
And here's Ardave, and he's going to kick a squib kick over to the right to a blank area where there aren't many people to receive. However, Rodriguez is going to stay on top of it, and they're going to get pretty good field position here from near the 40. So as the special teams unit comes off the field, I do want to point out that kicking off there was Nick Ardave, so we have another everyman kind of man who is kicking, throwing, and he likes to run, too, from the quarterback position. So now we haven't gotten to see much from the Rodriguez High School offense. However, what they have done has been really darn good, really only going for a few plays. Here's going to be a horrible snap coming back to Aaron Guillory. Number 2, it looked like he wasn't wasn't the quarterback in prior. But they brought in a second quarterback, didn't quite handle the snap well, and it's going to be second and long.
Yeah, Jimmy Chichov was able to get in the backfield there and bring down the quarterback. He looked like he was blitzing on the outside, but nonetheless, good play call. He was able to get in the back on a muffed snap. It was a little high, so he was able to get back there and bring the quarterback down for looks like a loss of about 10 yards.
Yeah, so second and 21 is the official scoreboard is showing. 8 minutes on the clock now at this point. Shotgun formation. This time it looks like the ball is going to go into Hurt. Hurt is going to hand it off for the draw play, and boy, was Vacaville there waiting.
Yeah, that was good defense by the Bulldogs. They swarmed to the ball carrier, brought him down for a minimal gain. It's going to be a 3rd and long here, so we were just talking about a defense stepping up, and it looks like the Bulldogs might have heard me, and they're trying to get their offense back out on that field.
That is the curse of a broadcaster for sure. The moment you say something before it happens, they make sure the opposite is what happens on the field. So here comes Jacob Hurt. Gets the play from the sideline. Now again, Aaron Guillory got a snap just prior, but it doesn't really seem like, although he's listed as a quarterback, doesn't seem like something they want to try again, as that didn't go so hot. 3rd and 22, 7:14 on the clock. Austin Kindle in motion. So here is Jacob Hurt trying to stay on his feet, getting pulled down though. Finally, you know, if one Bulldog didn't get him, Jason, it seems like the next 5 would have.
Yeah, I agree. That was the attack by Nick Lacey there. He was able to get the quarterback down, picked him up on the flats, brought him down for, it looked like possibly even a no gain. So they're getting the ball back for the Bulldogs' offense. So let's see how the offense comes back, see if they can't put another 7 up on the board.
And so here comes the punting unit. And expectedly so, as it is 4th and 19 here, just in the first quarter. So since the game is tied 7-7, it looks like Rodriguez is definitely going to be putting faith in their defense as a punt goes short, but gets a friendly bounce. Still going to go out only near the 50-yard line, netting only about 9 yards from the original line of scrimmage.
From the original line of scrimmage, indeed. That punt went straight into the air, and you could tell by the way that it was spinning that it was not going the right direction for the Mustangs. But nonetheless, it did bounce a friendly way, gave him an extra 5 to 7 yards. So let's see what the Bulldogs can do here with a awesome field position, pretty much already into the opposing field.
So here come the Bulldogs, and they are indeed going to fake a motion but run it just straight up the middle, getting to the secondary. Looks like number 22 for Vacaville, Jaden Groke. Thank you.
Yeah, we have him listed here as a fullback, but that kid had some jets on him for a fullback.
Definitely.
He was through that hole and picked up that first down easily. He looked like a backup running back or, like a tandem running back guy, definitely not the fullback. Nonetheless, picks up the first down on a very nice play. And here comes an end around to the wide receiver, number 9, David Mewborn. He's able to pick up a good gain, and it looks like another first down.
Hey, Vacaville definitely seems like they're rolling here, Jason. And as we mentioned, 16 different players have received running snaps, counting the quarterback, but still 16 players could be running the ball at you at any time in the game, and that really seems like it's going to their advantage.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to defend.
So here's going to be a run up the middle for that same number 22, Jaden Grokey.
Yeah, he is a quick fullback.
Definitely.
This Vacaville Bulldog offense is kind of methodical, just running the ball down your throat the whole time, constantly picking up first downs. I would not be surprised come to see the second half that this Rodriguez defense is just going to be tired.
Now, the ball is whistled dead, so I can only assume that we are I see. So Rodriguez looked like they wanted to call a timeout just in time. And I can only imagine that it's because they've been kind of having things handed to them. But with 5:32 on the clock, the game is still tied 7-7.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
So 5:32, 1st and 10 now for Vacaville. And the game is tied 7-7. However, despite the score, it looks like really Rodriguez's offense had one great slant route going down the middle of the field. But other than that, they seemed really stagnant.
Yeah, they definitely haven't done anything here on their second. Or they only had the ball for that one time after that first play. But they went on a 3 and out after a sack. Well, I mean, I guess you could probably blame that whole thing on that bad snap because that lost them about 11 yards. So, but nonetheless, the offense for the Bulldogs have yet to slow down.
Here is our Dave under center, and he's going to go to his left with the option. Not too much to gain, however, the clock continues to roll here in the first quarter. It's going to be second, and it is inside the 5, so second and goal after that gain. Now, as we noticed, it seems like, there have been some dominant rushing attacks, but really the ball is getting spread everywhere, and in this case, that is a touchdown for David Mewborn. So quite a run as he's able to get to the corner of the pylon, stopping the clock at 4:57, and here comes the extra point unit.
Yeah, that's going to be Mewborn's 7th touchdown of the year on the ground. Looking through these stats, I've got 7 touchdowns now for Mewborn, 6 for Goins, and 7 for Teo. So they got a lot of people who touch the ball, 16 different people, and a lot of people that score, 3 different people that have over 5 touchdowns on the year. So it's kind of hard as a defense to try to defend with so many different weapons on the field.
Now, I don't see a play clock anywhere on the field, but apparently the referees are going to have their ways to keep track of it. And it looks like they were able to get somebody to jump, whether it was on offense and against them or defense and in their favor, we're going to see. And as we wait from the head referee, it's going to be called an encroachment on the defense. So, same strategy, though, as they move 1 yard closer. Looks like they're just planning to kick it anyway. And the kick goes up, and it is good. So Vacaville, despite starting out down 7-0, Jason, they've really come back on this 14-point run and set the tone for what looks like to be the rest of this half.
Yeah, I think it was the very first play from scrimmage was Rodriguez's touchdown. If it wasn't the first, it was definitely the first few.
Right.
So Rodriguez caught him off guard, and ever since then, Vacaville has been buttoning down, and they're at 14 unanswered right now. So come score 7 at our home, and we're just going to keep ramming it down your throat after that. So they're pretty much telling them that's all they're going to get. That's what it looks like on defense. So they're going to keep that moving. 4 minutes, 57 seconds to go in the first quarter. The Bulldogs leading 14-7.
Now, one man looks like he's back to return for Rodriguez, and that is Hashim Boyd. He's going to be standing near his own goal line as the ball is lined up on the 40. And what's interesting here is Vacaville looks like they could really be ready for an onside kick as they have 9 different players lined up to the right side of the kicker. And they decide to spread it out and squib it a bit toward the middle of the field. The ball is bumbled. And this kid's still on his feet going down the sideline. Wow. Way to go when your number is called. Ubana Obiama. Able to get the return from the shorter part of the field, but he's able to move it pretty far down.
Yeah, that kid had some wheels on him. It was a field of black, and the next thing you know, there was one white jersey emerging, and it happened to be that one. It happened to be Obiama with the ball, and he was just going. Luckily, they were able to get a hand on him and bring him down, but Rodriguez is going to start on their own 45, so good field position for the Mustangs.
Lined up on the screen, bottom of your screen, is Jacob Teo. And it looks like the throw is going to go back, and then receiving is Tyler Cummins. And he's able to get the ball for the first down.
So that was actually Zachary Williams on the reception for the Mustangs. A little bit of broadcasting mishap up here. It's all good, guys.
And thank you, Jason. So here's the ball now on the 44-yard line. Rodriguez finally making their way into enemy territory. And for the first time in the game, they're going to show up in the I formation. Late pitch is bumbled and picked up by Vacaville. On the recovery, there he is this time, Jacob Teo.
Yeah, that was a pretty hard pitch there by the quarterback. Nonetheless, he was trying to get it to DeAndre Scott, his running back, and Scott just wasn't able to handle that pitch, and it hit the ground, and Teo was able to jump on top of it, get the ball back for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs are looking real good right now. They look good on defense both times. They've got 2 solid stops in this one, or 1 solid stop and a turnover, and now the Bulldogs offense is back on the field.
So here is R. Dave, and he's going to roll out to throw. Finds a target downfield. There it is.
What a catch by Curtis Goins. Caught him right across the middle. He was wide open. With a man like Goins in the backfield, I'm surprised they were letting him run wide open out there.
Yeah, he's definitely been the name that we were talking about before the game started. His helmet did come off on the play, though, so he's going to sit this one out. And from the far hash mark is going to be first down with 4:13 on the clock. Run up the middle for the fullback. And he's going to go for a solid gain. Not quite the first down, which is starting to be what we expect on first.
Yeah, that is a productive fullback back there. Watching the NFL, you definitely don't see too many fullbacks constantly moving the chains like that. But this kid is real good. We got
Jaden Grokey, that was.
I'll remember that one now. 22, Grokey.
3:44 on the running game clock. As the referees stop to make sure the ball is set properly. It's going to be second down.
I always like when you see that, when you see a play with the wide receiver out here, not even have to be in the huddle.
Right. It kind of tells you it's going to be a run most of the time.
Either that or he just knows that if he's open, the ball's coming his way.
So
false start.
Referee does notice the false start on the offensive line, and that's going to make it about 2nd and 9. 3:30 on the clock. Now down here at the bottom of your screen is number 15, Tyler Cummins. He's already had a reception or 2 tonight. Let's keep an eye on him. Motion is called, and it's going to be a break up the middle for Jacob Teo. And he's going to go all the way to the end zone. Unbelievable.
And that's going to be his 8th rushing touchdown of the year. So like I said, they have a lot of weapons on that offense. Do the Bulldogs. Now with 8 touchdowns from a wide receiver rushing the ball, 7 touchdowns from another wide receiver rushing the ball, and yet they have their star running back with 6 rushing touchdowns. So a lot of different weapons for that rushing attack for the Bulldogs.
Again, 30-13 on the clock. 20-7, Vacaville Bulldogs trying to make it 21. The kick is up, and it's great. So 21-0 is the score. And Vacaville, after that one big play, really looks like they're showing complete dominance.
Yeah, pretty much. What we thought was going to be a shootout has turned into the Bulldogs showing the Mustangs how to play football. But nonetheless, the Mustangs are still out here playing. They look fairly good on offense. They just happen to get that one bad pitch, and Teo was able to jump on it. So a couple small things that the Mustangs can fix. They're still not out of this game, only trailing 14 points. Still in the first quarter, so a lot of scoring here in the first quarter. 28 points scored between the two teams here in the first quarter, so very explosive and offensive game so far, which is always fun to watch coming out here. You know, I drive all the way from Sacramento to see this, so I'm always excited to see a lot of scoring plays and keep it interesting and keep me into the game.
Well, especially, Jason, because all of these scoring plays have been diverse. It seems like Vacaville is scoring any way that they want.
Yeah, that rushing attack is just too much.
Austin Kindle back to return. And it's going to be a fake kick and another attempted onside for Vacaville. Rodriguez on top of it, though. More good field position.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed is when number 1, R. Dave, is out there, they run some trickery on that kick. So that's the second time he's been out there on the kick, and that's the second time they've kicked it short. The one time he wasn't out there, they did a little pooch kick, but still, it was a little bit longer than that. So with number 1 out there on a kickoff, you can almost expect some trickery.
And it looks like offsides was called. And Vacaville's going to get another opportunity to kick this ball. So Rodriguez called for a re-kick.
I'm a little bit kind of curious as to why they called that. They would have had the ball with fairly good, field position. Now they're just going to kick it long, and it's probably not going to be as good field position.
And, their coach knows the team better than anybody, and indeed they're going to squib it again. And with the ball at the 40, field position is worse than prior.
Yeah, I don't know. That's probably a bad call from the sideline for the Mustangs. But nonetheless, R. Dave was out there again, and yet again they run a trickery kick. So I don't think I've seen the Bulldogs do an actual kickoff yet. They've tried trickery every time, and so far have been unsuccessful.
So the shotgun formation right now for Rodriguez is going to be Jacob Hurt, and alongside him is Gage Ely. And he's actually going to go under center, and it's going to be a quick handoff to Ely. Ely's going to break 1 tackle, 2 tackles, and he's getting down the sideline. He's still going. Finally pushed out of bounds past the 30-yard line. Great run for Ely.
Yeah, Gage Ely on that run. That was nice. He's listed here as their kicker as well, 5'11", 210 senior. He had some wheels on him. He definitely made a couple people miss, got a stiff arm, and got to the outside and got a good, nice chunk of yards getting the ball all the way to the opposing 30-yard line. So good run by Ely. It's exactly what the Mustangs need here with only 3 minutes, 1 second to go in the first quarter, trailing 14 points. They need to get some points on the board, so good run by Ely again.
Shotgun formation, 2 wide receivers. And Hurt is going to drop back, and he throws deep to the corner. He has Assam Boyd. I saw some action between the cornerback and receiver. Jason, I kind of expect pass interference in one direction at least, but it seems like the referee called it neutral, and it's going to be second down.
What I think happened there, Greg, is they're going to say that number 35 for Vacville, Kane Cunningham, actually he fell. And when you fall down and it doesn't look on purpose, they're going to let you fall. And if you happen to take another player out, that happens. And I think that's what they're going to call there. They're going to call, unintentional. So they definitely didn't throw the flag on that. Nonetheless, it might have came out to Kane Cunningham's. It was probably a positive thing that he fell because he ended up stopping a touchdown.
Hurt under center, 2 backs behind him. He's going to hand the ball off. And Hashim Boyd is going to go for another run, this time for 3, 3rd and 7.
That was a nice little run through the middle. I want to point out the tackle, though, by number 79, Eric Gabbard, excuse me. He just hit-sticked him. If you play Madden, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That was a nice hit in the middle there by Gabbard.
So Vacaville is lined up, 2 down linemen with 2 blitzing linebackers on the outside, who are kind of sometimes shift out for coverage, but sometimes go down to sit. And it's going to be Hurt dropping back, and he's evading several tackles until those. Wow, was he brought down in the backfield. It's going to be 4th and long.
Yeah, the penetration by Kenny Spencer, number 54, for the defense of the Bulldogs. He got in there, just had great penetration. I don't even know if he was touched coming into that backfield, but nonetheless created some stuff for the quarterback to get away from. He had to run away from some bodies, and he was able to track him down and bring him down for the quarterback loss, or the quarterback sack, excuse me. Bring up a 4th down, but it looks like they're probably going to go for it.
As they are in go-for-it territory here on the 35-yard line.
Not
quite
4th and 15, though.
Ready for a coffin corner punt nor a field goal. And it's going to be a shotgun formation for Hurt. And they're going to call a timeout to talk it over.
I don't know. I think I might have seen a flag.
Was there a flag on the field? No.
No, they're going to pick it up. There was, though.
So the flag was indeed a timeout for Rodriguez.
Okay.
So 1:25 on the clock in the first quarter, and although it's just in the first quarter, Vacaville's already got a 14-point lead. Jason, what do you think Rodriguez needs to do here to keep themselves in it?
Well, picking up this 4th and 15 would be a great way to start. The Bulldogs have been just so dominant on offense. They pretty much haven't been stopped at all. I mean, I could pretty much eliminate pretty much out of that because they haven't been stopped. Anytime they've touched the ball, they've taken it for a touchdown. So 3 drives, 3 touchdowns for the Bulldogs. So if I am the Mustangs, I want to try to keep up with this offense and keep as many points on the board as possible. Down 14, but still with a whole lot of game to go. But if your defense can't pick up some stops, you're going to have to pick it up on offense to try to keep up with this explosive Bulldog offense.
Now, somebody who has seemed explosive for Rodriguez High is Hashim Boyd. He's going to be lined up as a receiver walking toward the bottom of your screen at this moment. And again, 4th and 15 is going to be something difficult for Jacob Hurt. But we've seen him make big plays already. 1 back in the formation, 4 wide receivers. Hurt's going to get the ball. He runs into his own player, and then he ends up getting brought down further behind the line of scrimmage. So Vacaville's going to get the ball at the turnover on downs, and they only have 55 yards to go to their end zone.
Yeah, that was Kenny Spencer and Nick Lacey, both in the backfield for the Bulldogs. They were both able to get back there, and they took advantage of a little mishap by the Mustangs. He ran into one of his blockers, and it kind of seemed to startle him a little bit. He didn't quite know if he was getting hit or not. Nonetheless, they were able to bring him down for the sack and get the ball back in their offense's hands.
So Vacaville is going to come out to the field. It looks like their strategy is going to be the same as they call motion, throw an out route to Jacob Grote, and he's going to keep moving down the field. Knocks over the secondary until falling just past the 30-yard line. That was a pickup of over 25 yards.
Yeah, Jaden Grote with a nice play on that out to the fullback. I'm not going to agree with the fullback listing here. That kid is overall, he's going to have to be listed as a tailback for me. Because nonetheless, he is just explosive at the fullback position.
As we have whistles blowing from the secondary. And the referees seem that they need to. I see. So it looks like there's either an injury or an equipment problem for number 4 of Rodriguez, Hashim Boyd.
Yeah, he looks. He actually just took a knee, so it's not looking. Well, I wouldn't say it's not looking good, but he's definitely taking a knee due to injury, not an equipment malfunction. But it looks like he is going to walk off the field on his own. So that's always a good sign. Maybe just had a little bit of a stinger. Maybe lost his breath a little bit. Nonetheless, it's always a good sign when a player walks off on his own. So
Yeah, he's walking off on his own strength, and that's always the good way to look at it, because that means he'll be okay tomorrow. And we'll keep an eye out for him for the rest of the game. Perhaps it looks like he's just cramping up or something. We'll do our best to give you our perspective from here in the booth. So 1st and 10, 29-yard line, and a minute on the clock in the first quarter. Here is our Dave, and he's going to keep the ball to himself. Rolls, finds his target. Goins is going to go 9 yards, looks like. And the chains were about to move, but I think it's going to be 2nd and short.
Nonetheless, a good catch and run by Goins. He made a couple people miss. He was fighting for that first down. Wasn't able to pick it up, but still, like I said, nonetheless, a good play. So we have a 2nd and short. Looks like about a 2nd and 3, according to the scoreboard. Oh, like a Statue Liberty type play.
Yeah, that one was definitely one that stopped me as I was looking for the other players of interest, but that was number 42 for Vacaville High, Jared Paulin. And he was able to go for a solid carry and enough to get the first down.
Yeah, another wide receiver on a rushing play. So again, like we were saying, the 16 different kids who touched the ball on rushing plays. And here's another one with Paulin taking that carry. But again, like a Statue of Liberty like play on that one. That's actually going to end the first quarter.
And yeah, that horn is going to be the marking sign for the end, as our cameraman Will McCombs is going to be up there hearing it right in his left ear. But 21-7 is the score here at the end of the first quarter. And 21-7, Jason, we've kind of been talking about it, but it seems like 21-7 is almost Rodriguez could be very happy to be in this situation, as they have been outplayed for all but maybe 30 seconds of the entire game.
Yeah, definitely being outplayed are the Mustangs, and to be only down 14 points is definitely not too bad. But nonetheless, you are down 14 points, and we just ended the first quarter. So as a defense to allow 21 points in one quarter, I'd be a little bit scared, or maybe not scared, but definitely a skeptic on letting the Bulldogs touch the ball. If I'm the Mustangs, I want to keep the ball, rushing it as much as possible, and putting some points on the board. Try maybe another one of those slants across the middle, because it seemed to work on the first play.
Yeah, it seems like maybe that is the only adjustment Vacaville has needed to make to their defense. It looked like the quarterback for Rodriguez, Jacob Hurt, was able to keep an eye on those safeties, and once he saw them split down into man coverage, he knew exactly where he had to go with the ball. So a good read on his part in the solo touchdown for Rodriguez. Our Dave is going to throw off his back foot. He's got his target, and he holds on to the ball. So there it is, Tyler Cummins getting another big reception, and that's going to make it 27-7.
Very nice play in the corner of the end zone. He was able to bring that ball in and get the touchdown, putting the Bulldogs up 27-7 here with 7 seconds gone in the second quarter. So I'm going to count that touchdown in the first quarter. Nonetheless, up 27-7, pending this kick, could be a little more.
And as the kicking crew does line up, knee is down on the 10-yard line for Tanner Donaldson. And the kick is up and good. So with that, we instantly jump to 28-7, and now it's getting even more dangerous for Rodriguez.
Yeah, they definitely are going to need to answer back to this explosive Vacaville offense. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that. I'm sure you guys at home are tired of hearing me say Vacaville's explosive offense. But until you can show me otherwise, that's what they're going to be called, because they are indeed explosive. So 28-7 with 11:53 to go in the first half. And let's see if these Mustangs can't find a way to answer back, because they definitely are in need of a touchdown.
It seems like the Mustangs have a lot of faith in their return team, as Hashim Boyd is their return man. So he did come back onto the field. He is perfectly fine after walking off under his own strength. But he has been rather irrelevant on kickoffs as Vacaville Bulldogs continue to squib it.
I don't see our Dave out there. I bet he kicks this one a little longer.
And It goes a little bit longer, but still gets to the 25-yard line. And it's going to be a scrum for it. Two players tried to catch the same ball, and it looks like Rodriguez got to get under it. It was number 21, Ubana Obiama again, who was able to get to the ball.
One thing I want to point out is the coaching play calls here. They have real faith in their defense to continuously call kicks like that. They have not had one kick where that has gone past the 30-yard line. So, well, this one went a little bit past the 30-yard line. But nonetheless, not too many long kicks for the kickoffs, a lot of trickery kicks, pretty much saying that they have a lot of faith in their defense, and their defense has only given up 7 points so far.
I formation for Jacob Hurt. And it's going to be a run up the middle for the halfback, who gets carried by 2 or 3 players of the Vacaville Bulldogs. It looks like the initial hit coming from Gage Ely, my apologies, Timmy Scott and Jacob Teo.
Yeah, and the referees didn't even really look like they knew what to do on that play. Next thing you know, they have a white jersey and Superman angle being carried by a couple other jerseys.
Yeah, I wonder how long you can carry him before it becomes a safety.
He definitely never touched the ground.
So here we are again in the I formation. It seems like, split backs now. Pro formation for Rodriguez, and that's because their number 3, Gage Ely, is throwing downfield. He has his target. Hashim Boyd is going past the 20, and he is finally brought down inside the goal zone.
Wow, what a play. Nice little halfback pass by the Mustangs. Luckily, number 32 for the Bulldogs, Jimmy Chichoff, was able to get over there and make a touchdown-saving tackle. But nonetheless, a very nice play by Gage Ely to throw the ball to Hashim Boyd. That's a nice little combo there, a nice little halfback pass. Bringing it back old school with the halfback pass. I like it.
Hashim Boyd listed as the team's backup quarterback, so I think that it's safe to say that he has a little bit of experience throwing that ball. So the first down is confirmed by the referee, as it looked like that was what we may have been waiting for. But Rodriguez, as we mentioned, they kind of had to keep up with this high-powered offense, as 10:49 is on the clock for Rodriguez. Split backs again, one wide receiver to the right. And the rusher is still on his feet, but the whistle's finally blown. And he's going to get a bit closer this time to about the 3 or 4 yard line.
Not a bad run there. He got a couple yards, so it looks like they're on the 4. So they got about 4 yards to go, second and goal. They need to get these points here. These points are much needed. 10 minutes, 19 seconds to go in the first half. Trailing 21 points. You want to make up some of that deficit, and you want to do it right now.
Now, I also want to point out number 75, the center for Rodriguez, as Rodriguez takes a timeout. Ryan Garcia listed at 6 foot, 330 pounds. Kind of short for a 330-pound person, but still able to make some pretty good blocks in the middle. 10:06 on the clock, 28-7 is the score, but Rodriguez is definitely in striking distance.
PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championships events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com. High school sports lives here. Also, don't forget to stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com postgame show. We will select our player of the game as well as wrap up all the action from this ball game. That's coming up following the game on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
So after Rodriguez has talked it over, they are coming out with split backs one more time, shifted over to the right side. And it's going to be a throw toward the corner, incomplete, 3rd and goal.
Yeah, he was pressured there by number 55, Nick Lacey. Him and Kenny Spencer have just been constantly disrupting the quarterback. Jacob Hurt, I think was his name. Yeah, Jacob Hurt is definitely not liking number 55 or 54, as Spencer and Lacey just keep getting into that backfield. He was able to get back there and flush the quarterback out, make him throw the ball a little bit early, and he did not make as good of a throw as he might have wanted to. So nonetheless, 3rd and goal here. Let's see if the Bulldogs can't hold and keep these Mustangs from trying to crawl back into this game.
So here is Jacob Hurt, and he's going to go under center after hesitating for a bit. Single back, 3 wide receivers to the right, and a delay of game is called on Rodriguez. And now they're going to have to move back all the way to the 11 for a 3rd down. 10:02 on the clock, and now I personally am having trouble finding the game clock in this stadium, or pardon, the play clock. And the referees must have one that they have a vision on, unless they just kind of tell everybody to hurry up and deal with it. So instead of being on the 4, so my apologies, it is actually going to be from the 9-yard line. And the throw is going to be made by Hurt, and Boyd is going to catch it, so it was indeed a touchdown.
He was wide open.
Yeah, I was really impressed by them splitting the safeties again like that. It seemed like they would have learned their lesson last time, but here we are with a much closer game, 28-13, with the extra point pending.
Yeah, that was a good play by the Mustangs. Nonetheless, they found Hashim Boyd in the back of the end zone, just wide open. They were able to put a good throw on it, get 7 or 6 points. Exactly what the Mustangs needed here. Little under 10 minutes to go here in the first half. Only trailing by 14 now, so that's definitely better.
Definitely a better situation here as we are in the second quarter. The kick's going to go up. And on the evening, 6 for 6. Both kickers doing well in their extra points. 28-14 is the score.
PlayOn Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
So the kicking team is going to be coming off now. I don't expect Rodriguez to do anything tricky the same way that Vacaville has, unless they really had it in their game plan. Now 2 back deep to return for the Bulldogs. And that is going to include Curtis Goins as well as Jacob Teo. The ball's being adjusted here on the 40-yard line. Now, the game's kind of, I want to say it went back and forth, but ultimately it did, as Rodriguez came out with the 7-0 start, and then 28 points later for Vacaville, they got their second touchdown. But they really can't keep the ratio going, as a ball is indeed squibbed and bounces funny down the middle. Awkward bounce. Jacob Teo's going to get under it, though. And somehow he's still on the feet, but the ball's stripped. This is a wacky play, ladies and gentlemen, but Curtis Goins was able to get the ball, and Vacaville is going to be able to get some decent field position after a ball bounced around everywhere before and after the pickup.
Man, the original guy, Jacob Teo, he ended up running into one of his blockers, and that caused one of the Mustangs, he was able to reach in there and strip that ball out. I wasn't able to catch the number, but nonetheless a good play by the Mustangs. Unfortunately, the Bulldogs were able to fall back on it, as it was a heads-up play by Curtis Goins to fall back on that ball and keep the ball in their offense's hands.
So here is Dave under center, dropping back to pass. And he tries to throw a screen, but he ran into the big paw of number 77, Alex Reed. 6'3", 305 pounds, not easy to throw over.
Yeah, 6'3" with a 9-foot wingspan. He put his hands up there and just happened to pretty much bend his knees and expand them again, and he was able to get enough height up there to block that ball. When you're that tall with a big wingspan, you don't really need to jump that high. nonetheless, he was able to bring that ball down. Good play by 77 for the defense.
So Ardave is going to hand the ball off to Goins, and Goins is going to get stuffed by a pile of tacklers. 3rd and long now for Vacaville. Now, if Rodriguez can get this stop here, they're in really good position going into halftime. But there's 9:25 on the clock here, and anything can still happen in this quarter.
And I've noticed that the Mustangs are looking a lot more live and into the game now that they got that extra touchdown. So the defense has definitely picked it up here on this drive.
Now it's going to be a run up the middle, actually over the side, as I was fooled indeed. That was number 42 for Vacaville.
Jared
Paulin. Great lead blocking, though. It seemed like I wasn't able to keep track of who had the ball. It looked like they all did. They were all running like they did, but then when it came crunch time, some of them showed that they were just there to block. So, with that as a first down, and the clock continues to move with 8:57. Ardave is going to roll, evades tacklers, but he throws an interception. Unbelievable. Hashim Boyd again is doing everything.
Yeah, he's a 5'9", 165 senior here. Quarterback, defensive back. We haven't seen him do any quarterback play. He's pretty much been a wide receiver throughout the entire game. But he made a very nice play as a defensive back on that one.
Actually, if you do remember, he did have one throw when he was lined up as a running back. So indeed, that was Gage Ely. So Hashim Boyd caught the pass. My apologies. So Jacob Hurd is going to be under center. And he's going to send Ely into motion for wide receiver set. And no room to go anywhere for Jacob Hurd.
Yeah, again, Kenny Spencer in there. Like I said, that 54-55 combo with Kenny Spencer and Nick Lacey for the Bulldogs has just seemed to be proving too much for the offensive line of the Mustangs. They are constantly in the backfield, and Jacob Hurd is beginning to get to know them very well, even though he does not want to know anything about them.
8:23 on the clock, 2nd and 14. Ball is sitting here on the 30-yard line right in front of us. And it's going to be an I formation again for Rodriguez. Hurt is going to hand the ball off to Ely. And Ely is going to push and push. Finally called dead. Gain of 1, maybe 1.5.
I want to point out the defense for the Bulldogs on this drive, because we've got the Mustangs who just came off a touchdown and off a 3-and-out on their defense. So obviously they were trying to start. They were getting momentum to start going towards their side. And this Vacaville defense is coming out, and if they can get a big stop here on 3rd and 12, they're going to get the ball back, and it's going to pretty much deflate whatever momentum that the Mustangs were starting to build.
So Mustangs trying to stay in live in this 3rd and long situation. Hurt is going to throw a slant route. Dropped pass by number 15, Aaron Short. And 4th and 12 is going to be it, but the clock does stop at 7 minutes, 21 seconds. Here comes the return crew for Vacaville, led by Curtis Goins.
I like the selection from the bands tonight, Greg.
Yeah, the band right down to our right side, playing some good old Iron Man. Goins is back to return, standing on the 40-yard line. As he waits patiently for his opportunity to return, the punt's going to come back. Good coverage coming from the Mustangs. As Goins lets it bounce, and the ball is picked up at the 22.
That was a very nice punt. That was Gage Ely on the punt, number 3 for the Mustangs. He put a nice kick on that one. Not even Goins expected it to go that far. He had to backpedal and ended up just letting it go because he out-kicked him.
Well, we've seen him run, we've seen him throw, and we've seen him kick. So it seems like some kids get it all. Here comes Vacaville, though, and right now they have all of the lead, 7:12 on the clock. And judging by the formation, they're going to come out running. And indeed it is a run up the middle. And that is going to, I believe, go to the fullback, Jaden Grokey. Now the referees are making sure that the clock continues to roll as they are making sure that they have their play clock set, and it looks like we're moving backwards. Nope, my apologies. And here comes another run, this time going to Goins. And he is able to break tacklers left and right for the first down.
Yeah, he definitely did not want to go down on that play. He hasn't seen too many rushing attempts this game. Coming into this game, he was leading the team with 99 carries with 667 yards. But I think he's only touched the ball like 2 or 3 times on rushing plays so far in this game. So they're using him sparingly here at the start of this game.
And run is going to be up the middle again for the fullback, Jaden Grokey. And that is another first down.
I'm still going to stick with that kid's not a fullback because he is way too quick and way too versatile to be a fullback. He's looking like, I know I use a lot of Oakland Raider analogies, but he's looking like Marcel Reese out there.
So here is a lot of trickery, and the run's going to go to David Mewborn. Breaks 2, breaks 3, able to get almost all the way until it's brought down at the 10-yard line.
That was a very nice play by Mewborn. He was able to make a couple people miss, missed tackles. Picked up a very nice chunk of change there. Able to get the ball inside the red zone for the Bulldogs.
There appears to be a lot of smoke here going on above the field, as I believe it is hopefully from cooking, maybe some good old barbecue. Here we are on the right side of the field, though. Goins is going to be plowing up the middle, and he is down at the 3-yard line. So 5:50 on the game clock, 28-14, second and 3.
It's pretty much a second and goal. It looks like they're about on the 3, so.
Yeah, it is definitely close there, as the first down marker is only near the 1-yard line. That's going to be an end around 2. Mewborn breaks around the corner, and that is another touchdown for Vacaville. This is as close as we can get to a stomping without being one. I mean, we're getting in that area. 5:29 on the clock.
Yeah, they just pretty much don't get stopped on offense. I think they've only had one drive that hasn't led to a touchdown, has the Bulldogs. 5.5 minutes to go in the first half, and that has equaled 34 points. Let's make sure it's 35.
As we do wait for the extra point to be snapped, it's thrown down, nearly blocked.
And it's good.
But high enough. So, as you were saying, Jason, 35 points.
Yeah, 35 points first half. That's a nice half of football. Still 5.5 minutes to go in this first half. So, very, very good first half of football for the Vacaville Bulldogs, proving why they are ranked so high in our section.
As you mentioned, they are ranked 25th in the section, ranked 122nd in the state, while on the other side, Rodriguez High School coming in with a state rank of 631.
Yeah, I was looking over some of the prior games for Vacaville, and they have a couple of blowout losses, but a couple blowout wins as well, especially their last 3. Winning 49-7 at Vintage, 56-8 at Armijo, and 35-14 against Napa. So, nonetheless, they've pretty much been blowing people out these last couple weeks, and they have no signs of stopping here tonight.
More trickery coming from the kickoff as they do squib it somewhat short, and the kick does go out of bounds. Ubana Obiama. It looked like he was there to return. Now, it looks like actually it did go off of him, so the ball is going to be spotted at the 12-yard line.
So, yeah, if I'm the Mustangs, I definitely want to try to come back and get another 7 points here. They were able to pick up 7 on their last drive. which was their first touchdown since the very first play of this game. So a nice big break in between. I think you said they scored 28 unanswered points to the Bulldogs. So we've got a touchdown from the Mustangs, 28 points from the Bulldogs, a touchdown from the Mustangs, and then another touchdown from the Bulldogs.
Jacob Hurt is in shotgun, and he sends Kendall into motion. Hurt dropping back 3 steps, throws downfield, does not have his target there. It looked like number 15, Aaron Short, got stuffed near the line of scrimmage, or there was just a really bad miscommunication.
Yeah, it looked like Aaron Short was running a curl, and Jacob Hurt was expecting him to run the streak. A little bit of miscommunication. Luckily, the ball was thrown over enough to where none of the Bulldogs were able to pick it off. So shake that one off and try to pick up some yards here on second down.
Now, something interesting that we just saw there, it looked like Austin Kendall, the wide receiver, was the one calling the play in the huddle. Something that Autos find interesting to see. I formation. Hurt drops back, finds his back, nowhere to go, stopped at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, that was a good play by Jacob Teo. He was on the little he was on the safety blitz, and he was able to get in there and pick up the ball carrier in the backfield for a minimal gain. Actually, looks like about a loss of 1. So, good play by Jacob Teo on the safety blitz.
So another third down for Rodriguez, particularly a third and long. Here we are with 4:55. And Rodriguez is going to split up and, as expected, come out in a shotgun formation, 3 wide receivers set. Hurt calls the motion, drops back, doesn't find the options, taken down from his blind side, and another sack for Vacaville. So that's going to make it about 4th and 16. The clock continues to roll, and here comes Vacaville's punting unit.
I'm not positive, but it looked like that was 55 Nick Lacey in there for that sack. Again, that 55-54 combo is just being proven way too much for the offensive line of the Mustangs.
So here is the punting unit. Now again, back to receive for Vacaville is Taylor Goins. Little room to punt, and the punt goes straight up into the sky. Nobody can find it in the lights. Bounces toward the 25, but Goins gets under it. He's still on his feet. Unbelievable. He gets the touchdown on a punt that only went about 15 yards.
That's called football smarts right there. That was a very smart play. He seen that he had enough room to pick the ball up, and he ended up making a couple people miss and ended up taking that in on a touchdown. What a play by Curtis Goins. Nice play.
Yeah, he definitely didn't have much field to work with, either horizontally or even toward the end zone. But, you know, you gave him a little and he took a lot, and that's going to make the score 41-14.
Yeah, it looks like Rodriguez has come into a nice little routine of touchdown, allowing 4, touchdown, allowing 4.
Yeah, we're definitely getting in that direction here.
As
they have given up 2 touchdowns since the previous 4.
Yeah,
but here we are with 3:35 on the game clock in the second quarter, and Vacaville already has 42 points.
Yeah, it's starting to become that route that we've been talking about. 42-14 with 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. 42-14 is sometimes and usually an ending score, not a first half score. So nonetheless, this Vacaville Bulldog squad is just chewing up these Mustangs. One thing I do want to point out for the defense of the Bulldogs, coming into this game, everybody only had about 1 sack, and my buddy over here, Greg, he wrote down on his piece of paper Sac-Joaquin, because they are just chewing up this offensive line. I think between Nick Lacey and Nick Lacey and Kenny Spencer, they've gotten like 4 or 5 sacks tonight. So, way to pick it up on
the kick
defense.
Is up, and it's a laser going deep. This one actually getting back to Austin Kendall, hits him in the feet, and he's off running. Kendall, though, brought down at the 15-yard line, and again, after all of the great field position that Rodriguez wasn't able to capitalize on, they are now in an opposite situation where they have a ways to go.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need to do something here. They definitely don't want to go into halftime trailing by 4 touchdowns. So they want to go down and get a touchdown, be only down 21 points. It's hard to say only 21 points, but still, that would be what it was.
It's definitely got to be something that they are going to have to talk about in the locker room. Kindle goes into motion. Hurt throws a screen pass where he finds Ely. Ely's able to break and make something into it. Dives toward the first down marker. Looks like it's going to matter on the spot, but that is close to 10 yards if he doesn't actually get it.
Yeah, Hurt's a little slow to get up. Timmy Scott for Vacaville came in on a blitz and took Hurt down as he was able to get that screenplay off. And Hurt was real slow to get up. He's actually on the sidelines right now. He's not even in. And I'm kind of curious to see who. Yeah, they looks like they're going to bring in a backup quarterback for this play, number 7, Miles Saunders. So Jacob Hurt was hurt enough on that last play to take a breather for this play. So hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, I think he's going to be all right. Now remember, Saunders is in at quarterback. However, we've seen other players can throw the ball for this team. It's going to be a draw for Gage Ely, who's lined up as a fullback, and he's going to get the first down easily. So 3:29 on the game clock, and 42-14 again is the score. Where it's really going Vacaville's way at this point.
So Saunders will stay in for this play. So maybe Hurt's a little shaken up more than he would like to be. He's out for another play. We'll try to keep you posted on that if we can get any info.
Yeah, it looks like he is actually sitting over on the sideline. And a big pitch is going to come here. Going to the right side, but breaking down back toward the middle is Gage Ely. Still going. Unbelievable. What a run. This kid is athletic. And he took me from not surprised to very much so. And he's going to get the ball all the way to what looks like the 43 or 44.
Yeah, that was a nice run by Gage Ely. He picked up a nice chunk of change. Made a couple people miss, was able to reverse field, get across the field. And looks like we're going to have a personal foul for unsportsmanlike.
It's not only a personal foul, however. This looks like a serious injury, as all of Rodriguez High quickly dropped to their knee. And unsportsmanlike conduct is indeed called against Vacaville. Now, I have not seen this player get up at this point. He's being visited by both medical staffs, which is never a good time, or a good thing to see.
He is up, and he's walking. So
and
Gage
he is
Ely
up.
Looking all right. That's always a good sign. He's walking, trying to shake it off.
As more injuries seem to be plaguing Rodriguez High.
You know, despite the scoreboard, the Rodriguez Mustangs, they do have a couple positives to look at. They've gotten a couple good plays. The halfback pass was solid. The first play from scrimmage, which led to a touchdown, and the play in the red zone, which was able to get Boyd so wide open in the back of the end zone. So a couple of positives to look for at halftime for the Mustangs. Maybe shake off some of those negatives and work out a couple of the kinks and come back out here for the second half. Nonetheless, 1 minute 54 seconds to go in the first half, with the Mustangs trailing 42-14, trying to shorten that up to 21-42 if they are lucky enough to get a touchdown here with the last 2 minutes of the first half.
So after the 15-yard penalty, Rodriguez is actually going to get the ball here on the 28. So great field position for them. I formation, 2 wide receivers to the left, and we have movement on in the neutral zone. It looked like an encroachment from here, but this is one I tend to get wrong as a broadcaster.
No, you got it right. Don't doubt yourself.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate that. So the first down marker is going to move even closer to the end zone. That's going to make the ball on the 23. And maybe sometimes I do get it right, but maybe just the referees get it wrong.
There you go. I'll stick with that.
So 1st and 5, minute 54 in the first half. Now Rodriguez High did return. Now it's going to be a quarterback keeper for Miles Saunders. And he's going to push what looks to be a gain of about 2 or 3. Now, a minute 42, Rodriguez did return, as I was just saying, Jason. It's going to be really important for them to get the ball here into the end zone here at the end of the first half.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely makes it a little bit more difficult having your backup quarterback in. I do see Jacob Hurt standing on the sideline talking to a coach, so maybe he's asking if he's okay to check back in. But nonetheless, Miles Saunders is the guy with the ball under center, and it's all on his shoulders right now to get this touchdown, trailing by so many, 28 points here already in the first half.
And it looks like Rodriguez High is going to take their final timeout. So they've used all 3. So Rodriguez is taking the timeout. No, my apologies. Vacaville is taking the timeout, as I'm being informed by our production team here. So Vacaville takes their first timeout. Rodriguez is completely out of them with a minute 28 here. Vacaville wanting to make sure that they can keep this lead at 28.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
2nd and short. Again, minute 28. And it's going to be an interesting one here for Rodriguez. Now, they kind of got bailed out here, I believe, in my opinion, with that timeout. Miles Saunders in shotgun split backs. Drops back, and he avoids a few tacklers, throws into the dirt. It's going to be 3rd and short with a minute 24.
Yeah, that was Timmy Scott with the pressure on defense for the Bulldogs. Saunders wasn't really able to set his feet. Pretty much had to throw that ball as quickly as possible to avoid that sack. So good defense by the Bulldogs here. But it brings up a 3rd and 2.
Yeah, so a very important 3rd down again for Rodriguez High School. And the Mustangs, with the backup quarterback, really in a unique situation here before the end of the first half. Here is Saunders. Now he's going to avoid tackles but misses his target. I don't think he could have even seen his wide receiver due to the overwhelming push and height of the defensive line.
Yeah, Jacob Teo is on another safety blitz, and he got in there really, really quickly. Saunders didn't really have much to do but try to throw the ball downfield. He made a good throw, but his wide receiver just wasn't quick enough to catch up to it. So it looks like we're going to attempt a field goal here for Rodriguez.
And a long field goal at that, as it looks like the spot's going to be putting down on the 30. So this is a 40-yard attempt.
47.
As the 7 is factored into where the hold is on the 30. So, yeah, so the ball's on the 21. Pitch back to the 30, and the boot goes good. What a kick there for Rodriguez High, and that's going to give him a little something going into the end of the first half.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a 47. I'm not positive, but I know in the NFL, wherever they're kicking it, it's 17 extra yards. So.
No, it's definitely a 40-yarder. It's 7 back to the snap, 10 for the end zone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
So line of scrimmage, 17 yards.
Yes.
That's where I was mistaken, not where the ball's kicked.
So with the minute 13.
Still a 40-yard field goal for a high school.
Still an amazing kick.
Nice kick.
Definitely when I'm watching college and pros, I see those 40-yarders missed all the time. So a great kick on his part.
I wouldn't be surprised maybe if you see a little trickery here. See if they can get a ball back.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Rodriguez, even though it's the first half, could find themselves in a bit of a desperate situation. And with a minute 13 and not getting the ball back, I again, That's actually, Jason, I think that might be a good call. And, well, we're both wrong.
He's
The
got
ball
a boot,
is
though.
booted rather deep. And it looks like back to
That's
return
Teo.
is somebody who can keep going, and that is Jacob Teo. Huge run is going to bring him to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, that's probably why I would have tried a little trickery right there.
Yeah, Jacob Teo and Curtis Goins are not really people that you want to have the ball in their hands ever.
Yeah, I agree.
And holding is called on possibly the defense, but the referee does not look confident. Actually, yes, that's a call, so defensive holding. It's going to move the ball a little bit further downfield, and hey, with 42 points on the board, I'm sure Vacaville wouldn't mind 49.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about this Vacaville team, their stars on offense is number 5, Curtis Goins, and 4, Jacob Teo. And on defense, it's 55 and 54, Kenny Spencer and Nick Lacey. So the 5 and 4 are being just weapons all around for the Vacaville Bulldogs.
Speaking of the Bulldogs, here is R. Dave. He's going to find a screen to Jaden Grodke. And he's going to get the ball all the way to the 31.
He is a versatile player, is that Jared Grokey.
As we get whistles from the referee, as I believe Vacaville is using another timeout here, but I could be mistaken.
I think they had an injury at one point.
I see. So it's an official's timeout. And with 57 seconds on the clock, Vacaville is going to take another shot at this. A lot of potential runners here, including the one going to motion. However, it's a pass, stays in the pocket, and an ambitious throw is cleanly intercepted by Hashim Boyd.
Yeah, R. Dave just didn't have enough on that pass. He kind of threw it off his back foot. Didn't quite have all that he wanted on there. It kind of died in the air. Nonetheless, good play by Hashim Boyd to pick the ball off and stop a potential touchdown, because it looked like the Bulldogs were going to put more points up before halftime.
Yeah, good defensive stance there, and that is actually Hashim Boyd's second interception of the game. So he seems to have R. Dave's number. And R. Dave doesn't also, Jason, I think it's safe to say he's not really used to receiving pressure, as he does have a very large offensive line. But when Rodriguez has gotten to him, it seems like they've had a lot of success on defense. So back into the game is Jacob Hurt. And he's going to take a knee and send us into halftime soon. However, there are more than 40 seconds on the game clock at 50, so they are going to have to take another knee in just a few moments. However, at halftime, Rodriguez is going to be down 17 to 42, and they will be kicking off to Vacaville. Vacaville showing great dominance in both their pass and run game.
Yeah, on that last play, it's probably a good thing that the Mustangs took a knee, as the Bulldogs only had 10 men on the field on defense.
So, yeah, it's, you know, I guess, you know, the penalty for having not enough guys on the field is just that. You don't have enough guys on the field, but it looks like Vacaville is going to take a calm step toward Rodriguez, and that is going to do it in the half. So 3-2-1, 42 to 17 is it. Jason, going into halftime, Vacaville, obviously, their goal is just going to be to run out the clock and try to guarantee this one to be a win. But do you think that there's anything Rodriguez can do here to try to ensure a chance even to come back to this?
It's two simple things: score and stop them from scoring.
All right, well, we're going to keep it simple here right on PlayOnSports.com's broadcast. It is halftime show. It is halftime from Vacaville, California. We'll be back in just a few moments. Keep it right here. PlayOnSports.com, your source of high school football. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank you for joining us here. We got a second half of football coming up. It seems like both teams are lining up despite there still being 2 minutes of clock here before the second half is supposed to officially start. So we're going to have a lot of people standing around. Greg Cotta alongside Jason Patterson. Jason, now the 42-17 is the score here. And you know, Rodriguez has done well to get those 17 points, but really it seems like they're outmatched, they're outsized, and they're really running into trouble everywhere against Vacaville.
Yeah, they have had a couple of solid things that they could look into. But nonetheless, it's been all Vacaville Bulldogs here today. Rodriguez has looked pretty solid on the times that they have scored. They got the very first play from scrimmage on a slant for a touchdown. They were able to do a nice halfback pass that led them to their second touchdown. And then they got a field goal, which was about a 40-yarder, I believe. So their scores have been fairly well, but when they haven't scored, it's been a lot of punts and I think a turnover on a fumble.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I mean, now a weakness that could be pointed out about Vacaville is that Nick Ardave, their quarterback, has thrown 2 interceptions, both of them picked off by Hashim Boyd. And the kick goes off to the far side of the field, and Vacaville is still moving. It is Jacob Teo, and he is going to go to the house past the 20, and that is going to make it 48-17. And just like that, Vacaville is up even more.
Yeah, that's definitely how you come out to start the second half, is take the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Nonetheless, we have a little conference here in the middle of the field by the refs. I think there was a flag on the play.
A holding call would definitely bring this one back a great distance, as he did have over 40 yards of field open in front of him. And a personal foul is called against Rodriguez, and both teams actually, so they offset. However, the referee's calling back here, as I do need a bit more information, but I'm not entirely sure. It looks like they're going to kick again.
So offsetting penalties will replay the down?
There it is, yeah. It took me a second to scroll through my rule book in my head there, but it's definitely going to make him return it again. And good break for the Mustangs. However, this time they might want to think twice before kicking it back to Jacob Teo.
I definitely didn't know that rule. I know in the NFL, offsetting penalties just mean that they offset and the play stands. So
it could, it often has to do with how much how much of an impact it has on the play itself. And if a personal foul or a chop block or whatever is what breaks it to the end zone, but a penalty later, doesn't offset a penalty that happens first. So it looks like they're going to be kicking again and from the same spot. But Jacob Teo and Curtis Goins back to return. It's gone to Teo multiple times.
That's a lucky break for the Mustangs there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that would have killed any momentum.
Anything and everything. I really think that if that happened the way it did, or the way it appeared to have, then Rodriguez would have been in complete trouble for the rest of the game. And they're going to kick it into the dirt, watch it bounce. And we do have a return from Anthony Gonzalez. And he's going to get the ball near midfield.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid return to start the second half. It's not a touchdown, but you're still going to get the ball at about the 50-yard line. So still pretty good field position to start the second half for the Bulldogs.
So the Bulldogs, as we said before the end of the first half, really their goal here is going to be to get up enough points to guarantee that they should be running this clock. Currently up 42-17. Now Ardave is going to drop back and he's going to hand the ball off. It's going to be a draw up the middle that pushes for several yards, getting all the way up to the 45.
That was Jaden Grotke on the carry, the versatile fullback, who has seen quite a bit of action today. And pretty much anytime he touches the ball, he's almost guaranteed for a first down. So definitely got to watch out for all these multiple weapons on the rushing game for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, our Dave with plenty of options behind him, and this time it's going to go to Goins. Goins is gone. Unbelievable. He turned on the Jets at the 30-yard line and waltzed into the end zone. 11:01 on the clock.
Yeah, that was a very, very nice run by Goins. He was going, and he proved it. He definitely, I don't even know if anybody got fingertips on him. He barely was touched on that run. He had a couple defenders in front of him and just used his flat-out, just his speed to get past everybody. Took it straight into the end zone for 6 points. I believe that was the first touchdown from Goins for the night, so it's good to see him get one and try to catch up to all these other wide receivers who are getting all the touchdowns on the running plays.
And as the extra kick team lines up, it is good, so that is going to make it 49-17. And with 11:01 on the clock, it looks like Rodriguez is going to get the ball again at least, but they're in even deeper trouble than before.
Yeah, so even though the opening kickoff didn't go back for a touchdown, it almost came back to, I wouldn't even say bite the Mustangs, but it took more time off the clock than the opening kickoff. So that might, at the end of the game, be something to watch out for, as it did waste a couple minutes off the clock here in the third quarter. But 49-17 is your score, with the Vacaville Bulldogs leading the Rodriguez Mustangs here in Vacaville, California, on a very nice night for football. Not too chilly, not too hot. It's perfect pants and t-shirt weather.
Yeah, that's definitely how I'm feeling right now, as I am comfortable in my button-down in jeans. The ball's going to be kicked off from the 40. Now, Vacaville seems like this is their method on every kickoff. They line up somewhat informally and then break apart once the kicker gives them the word. And the kick is going to go deep and bounce its way toward the end zone, and that's going to be a touchback.
PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championship events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com. High school sports lives here.
So the ball is spotted at the 20-yard line. 11:01 still on the game clock. And 49-17 is going to be a very difficult thing to overcome. Now, if Vacaville does hold on to this lead, they will be able to stay 4-0 in league play. So they, are showing their dominance, especially as you mentioned, Jason, in the past few weeks. That's going to be a run back to, looks like Gage Ely. And he's going to get stopped in the backfield, second and long.
It was actually Hashim Boyd, it looked like, on the carry. But nonetheless, a good stop by the defense for the Bulldogs. One thing you said is if they win, they'll be 4-0 in the league, 6-3 overall, going into their last game next week against Wood High School, who is 4-4 overall, depending on what they did tonight. But 4-4, ranked 471 in California, is Wood High School. So Vacaville High School with a win here, looking good to pick up another win on their last game and end this season 7-3. So the Vacaville Bulldogs are definitely going to be a team to watch out for come playoff time.
Shotgun formation for Hurt. Hurt dropping back 3 steps, finds his target over the middle. He caught it! Unbelievable for Aaron Guillory. He's going to break down the sideline and go into the end zone. And
yeah, what a play!
What a play! We've seen him before. It seems like honestly, Rodriguez High, that they can score at the drop of a hat, but only ever so often. And they haven't had enough support from their defense. But in any situation, that was an unbelievable play.
Yeah, I agree. Just an overall good play. One thing I wanted to point out is that Jacob Hurt is back in the game at quarterback. So obviously the injury he received in the first half wasn't too bad. He was able to come back in to start the second half and throw a nice pass down to Aaron Guillory for the touchdown. So that brings the score to 23-49, possibly 24.
And the kick goes up, and 24 it is. So 9:59 on the clock. And you know, Rodriguez isn't going away here. They're doing everything that they can to stay in this game, but it just really seems like overall they're outmatched by the Vacaville offense.
Yeah, I agree. Despite the fact that they're putting points up, they're pretty much putting up enough points for us to not say it's a blowout is what's going on.
Right.
They're trying to stay right in that range, down 5 touchdowns right now. It's not unheard of to be able to score 5 touchdowns, seeing as the Bulldogs did it in the first half. So the 5 touchdowns is possible, but the defense is going to have to pick up their game and stop this Bulldog offense if they want to have any chance of winning this game.
So back to return again, the usual bunch for Vacaville High, including Jacob Teo and Curtis Goins. And Vacaville, you know, despite their very irregular kickoff system, Rodriguez has been much more consistent at kicking the ball back deep, typically going off to the left side to Jacob Teo, which will be toward the top of your screen. So left side for the kicker. For those of you just tuning in, this is PlayOnSports.com's YouTube broadcast of the Vacaville High Bulldogs going up against the Rodriguez High Mustangs. Rodriguez High Mustangs being in the white and green to the left of your screen. As they kick deep, actually a squib onside is snatched out of the air by number 41, Michael Walker.
That was a risky play by Michael Walker. He jumped up there and tried to grab that ball out of the air. Had he not been able to pull that ball out of the air, that would have landed right in probably 5 or 6 Rodriguez Mustangs' hands. So risky play by Walker, nonetheless good play. Pulled the ball down and gets the ball with solid field position, looking about the 47-yard line to begin this drive for the Bulldogs.
So the Bulldogs, great field position again. And Ardave is going to line up under center, and he's going to hand the ball off to his fullback, my apologies, that was actually Jacob Teo, lined up in the fullback position, not the typical fullback that I've been referencing of Jaden Grokey. So a good stop, but a little too late. It's going to be 2nd and 3 with 9:37 on the clock in the third quarter. Now, on the bottom of the sideline, it looks like Ardave is getting the play, and he's going to hurry it up to the offense. And a beautiful fake handoff is going to go to that fullback we just mentioned, Jaden Grokey, stumbling into the end zone, and he does make it. So there is another quick touchdown for Vacaville, bringing the point total to 55.
Yeah, that was a just lightning fast handoff to his fullback. I didn't even see him hand the ball. I seen the fake to the end around on the wide receiver, but I didn't even see that ball being handed off to the fullback and Grokey, and he was able to take the ball all the way down, made a couple people miss, kept those feet moving, and got in the end zone. And despite the fact that Rodriguez keeps putting a few touchdowns on the board, this is a blowout, ladies and gentlemen. 55-24. Vacaville just cannot be stopped on offense.
And the kick goes up, and it's good again. Great extra point kickers coming from both teams tonight, including a big field goal coming from Rodriguez. But we haven't seen anything go outside of the uprights, but we still have plenty of football to go, despite the score being 56-24.
Play On Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at Play On Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
So one of the more exciting aspects of the game has definitely been the kickoff style for Vacaville High. It's very strategic, and unless you're watching film on specifically the kickoff, it's really nothing you could be ready for. So back to return. Looks like Austin Kindle one more time, but it's kind of not really even fair to say that, as the ball rarely makes it as deep as he is. Ubana Obiama, I believe, already has more official kick returns, and he's playing a good 20 yards shallower. Crowd's up for the kickoff, and it's going to go deep. And indeed, it doesn't make it quite to their return man, but he's probably glad he didn't have that ball because that kid just got popped.
Yeah, that was a hit stick nonetheless. Straight out of Madden right there by number 88, Kenyon Clay for the Vacaville Bulldogs. He came in there with a vengeance and took that ball carrier down, drove him into the ground. Very nice tackle, very legal tackle, I might point out, too. Sometimes you have a couple of those vicious hits that become illegal, but that was very legal, very nice hit. That's how you play football right there. Good hit, Kenyon Clay.
Now, Jacob Hurt is again back in the game, and he has been rather essential to any of the success that the Mustangs have had thus far. Hurt is going to hand the ball off, and it goes less than nowhere. In fact, that looks like it may even be a loss of 7 yards.
Yeah, that was a double handoff there, and eventually Ely was got the ball, but a tackle by Timmy Scott. I think Ely got the ball. But nonetheless, it was Timmy Scott on the tackle. He was able to get back there, was not fooled by the trickery, and brought the ball carrier down. Let's see what this flag is for.
Yeah, the flag is picked up by the referee. And I'm waiting to hear from the head ref. But it looks like it's a personal foul against Vacaville. So that 7-yard loss is going to turn into a bit of a gain. We're going to have to see what goes on here. Now, this is our guesstimate coming from up in the booth, and indeed they are moving rather far forward. So it's going to be 2nd and 4 after that, so a big break for the Mustangs. Now back in shotgun is once again Jacob Hurt. Hurt with 3 wide receivers to his right, drops back and looks left, lobs it downfield, easily intercepted by the safety for Vacaville. And that was number 43, Cade Weiss. And Vacaville's going to have the ball again with 8:31 on the clock in the third quarter.
Yeah, Weiss pretty much just stood there and waited for that ball to get to him. Excuse me, a little bit of heartburn. Hurt happened to try to go long there and just wasn't able to get enough mustard on that ball, and the ball died in the air, and it landed right in Weiss's hands. Nonetheless, good interception for the Bulldogs. Up 56-24 with 8.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Looking to go down and add some more points because they, you know the old saying, when you have points, you don't ever have enough.
Yeah, it definitely seems like they're playing with that mentality. And R. Dave is under center. Bumbled snap, but he's able to pick it up. Could have been a lot worse, but it is a loss of 5. For those of you just tuning in, the Vacaville Bulldogs are putting a pretty good beating down on the Rodriguez High Mustangs. I am Greg Cotta alongside Jason Patterson. Will McCombs up doing the camera work while we have Brian Hassler doing production just to our left. We want to thank them for giving you this viewership and all the rest of the work that's going on, because without them you can't hear us, especially because Jason and I don't know how to work this equipment. So after that run there, drop the middle, that doesn't seem to go for much. But it's going to be 3rd and long as the clock continues to tick down, just past 8 minutes now.
Yeah, I definitely would. I would be surprised if I see any pass plays from the Bulldogs, seeing as they're up so much. Probably just going to keep the ball on the ground and try to keep that clock running.
Yeah, and fair enough to them, especially because their runs have gone for big yardage. This one, getting back to the original line of scrimmage, looks like Kane Cunningham there. Somebody we haven't seen run so far tonight. But it's going to be 4th and 10, and the punting unit's going to come out after probably burning just a little bit more clock.
That was actually Kane Cunningham's 2nd carry of the year, so not a whole lot from him throughout the whole entire year.
Yeah, it's kind of getting to that point, even though there's still 7 minutes left in the third quarter. Back to return for Rodriguez High is Austin Kindle. somebody that hasn't had as much action as he'd probably like on kickoffs. This punt's going to go deep. Bounce before the 30, and it's going to be stopped by Vacaville just past the 20-yard line.
So how is Curtis going to punted that punt there? So he's an all-star runner, all-star receiver, and he can punt the ball as well. I love kids that can just do it all.
You know, some kids are just born for what they're doing. And I kind of wish I found what I like to do when I was 16, 17, but looks like he has it figured out for sure.
That's one reason why I enjoy covering high school football. These kids who can do everything, they are allowed to do everything. Once you get into about college, they start focusing on one position and one position usually only. So this high school level, it allows kids to showcase all their abilities. It's always interesting to watch.
Now, here is a unique formation, unless it's just still unfolding. I believe it was just miscommunication. However, Hurt is going to stand, and he's going to have to burn a timeout. So 6:54 on the clock, and that's going to be their first timeout of the half.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
You know, you mentioned, Jason, how the athleticism of certain players, and they're just kind of, just given the opportunity to just play in direct. Actually, I went to high school in the area. You got to cover a Christian Brothers high school game, and the quarterback for my grade actually went off to Cal Poly as a cornerback, and now he's actually currently playing for the Baltimore Ravens. So it's kind of funny to see, these athletes that come out and they play their position, but really what they show to college scouts is that they're just extremely athletic.
Yeah, that's definitely all you're out here doing in the high school level is just showing your athleticism. These college scouts, they come out here, they see what you can do, and they'll tell you what position you're best for. So you pretty much at a high school level, you just come out and try to play as best you can in whatever position your coach puts you at. But like I said, I enjoy watching these kids play on both sides of the ball and even on special teams.
Now Jacob Hurt is lined up in shotgun. He is going to drop back, and he gets hit from the backside again. Another sack for Vacaville. And that is going to make it back on the 10-yard line. And that's going to make it second and what looks like 18. I could be mistaken.
That was number 3, Timmy Scott, on the sack for the Vacaville Bulldogs. You've nicknamed them Sackaville here tonight, but I'm looking back at their prior stats, and they've only had about 1 sack apiece per each one of these players. So
I see
Scott getting another sack, and we've got a couple other people on here. Only 9 total season sacks on the entire season for the Vacaville Bulldogs, and I'd say they're over half of that right now.
I'd say they may even be nearing 9 total on the game. An awkward pitch is coming back to the Mustang halfback, and that looks like this time it was Hashim Boyd, but he's not able to find any progress. Third and very long.
Yeah, that's because he was being chased down by Jimmy Chichoff. He was really quick there, number 32 for Vacaville. Chichoff was able to get out there, pick that ball carrier up, take him down by his shoestrings, and keep him to a minimal gain, if anything. So it looks like it's going to be a 3rd and 18 here with 5.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Mustangs trailing the Vacaville Bulldogs 56-24, trying to get some life in their offense here.
And as they try again, 3rd and 18 would be a difficult place to start, but it's definitely where you're going to need to get something. Now Hurt is going to lob off his back foot, and I expected to see that a flag comes out on the field. That seemed like some pretty harsh pass interference on the far side of the field.
Yeah, that was Daniel Mewborn, on the coverage. He just happened to go for the ball, and it affected the wide receiver. And nonetheless, they're going to call that pass interference.
Yeah, I think that there was just enough contact on the wide receiver for it to be apparent, at least from the angle of this side of the field. Actually, were 2 flags thrown down, I believe, unless a referee doesn't intend to pick up the one behind him on the far sideline. but perhaps I could be mistaken. So, automatic first down and 15 yards is going to do it. Do some pretty good things for the Mustangs because, honestly, that was almost the best thing that could have happened to him there. Hurt is going to go under center this time. And he's going to hand the ball off to his halfback, who is not going to make it very far at all. And that was Hashim Boyd again.
And there's another name that we've heard throughout tonight, Kenny Spencer, 54 for the Bulldogs again. In the backfield, just causing problems for anybody who has the ball for the Mustangs. That combo again, 55 and 54, Kenny Spencer and Nick Lacey has just been ridiculously good all day on defense. Like I said, the 5s and the 4s for the Vacaville Bulldogs, 54, 55 on defense and 5 and 4 on offense. So those 5 and 4s you got to watch out for the Bulldogs.
And the 5s and 4s, as you've been mentioning all day, whether it's offense or defense, something you got to be afraid of. Shotgun formation for Hurt. Dropping back, throws over the middle, nearly intercepted by number 32 for Vacaville. Jimmy Chichov, one of your favorite guys out on the field. You've been saying his name a lot.
Yeah, he's quick. He was quick to get to the ball. He jumped that route and almost picked it off. Had he picked that off, he might have taken that back for 6. That was a nice play by the defensive back, Chichov, there.
So 3rd and 10, better third down situation than prior. However, it's still rather difficult. And at this point, I wouldn't even be surprised to see the Mustangs go for it on 4th down. So maybe even 5-6 yards here would be very beneficial. Hurt fumbles the ball, throws it over to Hashim Boyd, able to break several tackles, and finally brought down by a big hit coming from number 3 of Vacaville, Timmy Scott.
Yeah, that was a big hit, was probably an understatement for that one. That was a freight train coming through.
As a different player is having trouble getting up off the field for the Rodriguez High Mustangs. Trainers coming out and taking a look. Players taking a knee. 3:52 on the clock. Again, as you see on the top of your screen, 56-24 is the score.
And we will be right back after this injury timeout.
On that play was Aaron Guillory. Looks like he's gimping off to the side of the field. However, he is under his own strength. So we're glad that he is rather okay. But another difficult situation, though, for the Mustangs includes this 4th and 3 situation. Actually, in my opinion, looking a little bit closer to 4th and 4. And Vacaville is going to want to make the stop, and they're really going to want to put this one out of reach. So the Mustangs have had trouble converting on 4th down thus far unless they've been bailed out by a penalty. And actually, it looks like they're going to be bringing out their punt formation. Vacaville, though, seeming to smell suspicion, and it is a fake punt. And no luck on that one. Rodriguez, number 9, Zachary Williams was the attempted receiver there. And that's going to be a turnover on downs with 3:29 on the clock in the 3rd quarter.
So that was a throw again by Gage Ely, and I'm not going to sit here and even try to sugarcoat anything, but that kid's got an arm on him, too.
Yeah.
He threw that halfback pass earlier, and he threw that pass there, a very nice tight spiral. With Hurt not doing the best that he can do, I wouldn't be surprised if you try Ely one time just to see what he could do back there in the quarterback position, because the kid's got a cannon on him. But the Vacaville Bulldogs take over on downs at about their 32-yard line.
And it's going to be a run up the middle. This time it's going to number 30 of Vacaville High, Demetrius Nunez.
That's going to be a loss.
And it's definitely around there, but actually it looks like he got a pretty good spot on it. And it's going to be a gain of about 1. 3:11 on the clock now.
So that's going to do it for the starting lineup for the Bulldogs. We got all backups in now.
Yeah, it looks like Justin Mylander standing in what I believe is the quarterback getup. And they are sitting on this ball with 3 minutes to go before the final quarter.
Yeah, I'm not saying anybody who started the game out there.
Now, Mylander is handing the ball off to his right side, where Jimmy Chichov is actually going to be rushing the ball. So somebody that we've seen have a lot of success in the secondary gets to, learn what it feels like to get hit himself, as we have another injury timeout coming from Rodriguez. And the player on the field looks like he's calling over to his trainers himself. So Rodriguez is going to step aside and strategize as the second team for Vacaville gets their stretches in. And with 2:33 on the clock, we are going to step aside for another moment. We'll be back right after this. And we are back. Injured on that play was number 56, Mark Papish. And again, getting off on his own strength. So it just kind of seems like perhaps Rodriguez High is out-conditioned here. 3rd and 7, though, for the second-string Bulldogs. And it's going to be a run up the middle. Splitting the safeties is number 30, Demetrius Nunez. And he is going to get pushed out past the pylon. So there is another big touchdown for Vacaville High. Clock stops at 2:22.
Yeah, that was a big touchdown. And one thing I wanted to point out is you said that the Rodriguez Mustangs are just looking unconditioned out there. And that was one thing I pointed out early in this game, with such an explosive running game by the Bulldogs, that the defense would be tired at this point in the game.
Right.
And it is starting to show as they gave up a big play to the second-team offense with number 30 running that ball in, Demetrius Nunez, for the touchdown. So if we can get this through the uprights, which it is, so that'll make it 63-24 with 2 minutes, 22 seconds to go in the third quarter, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
third quarter, and they already have 63 points up.
I think that Rodriguez High came out with actually a lot of heart, because I think that they were smaller in number, in size, in everything, probably even in the size of their playbook. But they came out, and I think they lasted as long as their bodies would let them.
Well, they have officially scored the most points they have scored this year, have the Vacaville Bulldogs. They won against Deer Valley, they lost against Deer Valley, so they only scored 35 there. They did beat Vintage with 49 points, and they beat Armijo with 56. But 63 points is their highest scoring of the year. One more touchdown, and they double their average points per game, as they're only coming in with 35 average points per game. So this is just a blowout game by the Vacaville Bulldogs.
So after that touchdown from the second string of Vacaville, It's really looking like, barring a Disney-level miracle, Vacaville High is going to move to 4-0, while Rodriguez is going to move to 0-4, both of those records being conference play. As we are just getting word the clock is going to be running from this point on. However, don't you say that to Rodriguez High, because it looks like their kick returner is Austin Kindle. Really seems like he wants to turn those legs. So the clock is running with 2 to go in the third quarter, and this game is going to wrap up rather quickly with that factor added.
Yeah, I'd say about 17 minutes exactly.
Maybe we'll have a little bit to move the ball the other side of the field, but who knows, maybe they'll skip that part. This is a good old-fashioned beatdown.
They definitely kept the clock moving as they set the ball there, and I haven't seen any stop the clock or keep it moving motions from the referee. So nonetheless, 16 and a half minutes to go in this game.
So shotgun formation for Jacob Hurt, which I would consider, with the exception of his one interception, has been a bright spot for this offense. And look at that, another big touchdown. This time, Aaron Short on the reception, and he is going to go the distance, bringing the score up to 30-63 with a minute to go on the clock.
Man, where was that at? We seen that at the very first play, and that's actually going to eliminate the running clock, that touchdown. So
here we are. It looks like Rodriguez High is doing their best to stay in this. 1:01 on the clock as it stops, and the extra point unit comes out for the Mustangs.
That looked awfully familiar. I believe that was the first play that we've seen from scrimmage.
Identical.
It worked that play. It worked this last play. Where has that been in between now and the start of this game for the Mustangs? They need to do that about 5 to 6 more times.
So the kick is up. And again, it's good with this many touchdowns in a game. I got to say, I've really been impressed by the kickers. Neither of them missing anything. Doing well the times their number has been called. And a minute one's on the clock as we go to the next kickoff.
PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championship events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com. High school sports lives here. Also, don't forget to stay tuned for our PlayOnSports.com postgame show, where we will select our player of the game as well as wrap up all the action from this ballgame. That's coming up following the game on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
So, we've got new kick returners coming from Vacaville High. We have Daniel Mewborn, as well as Kane Cunningham. So this is the second team even on special teams. So that means we've got even some third stringers in there, since it is the special team unit. So everyone's getting some playing time tonight for Vacaville High.
They do have a huge roster here, using all the way up to number 99 on their roster. So quite a few kids for Vacaville. If I remember right, it was somewhere around 66 kids. So
yeah, it's a huge roster indeed. And they utilize that depth well. Here's the onside kick attempt, and it is bounced into the hands of a Bulldog. And starting from the 43 is, again, the B team for Vacaville High.
Definitely not looking like the B team on that last play.
Not at all.
Hopefully they can get another run for a long touchdown and get some confidence for some of these backups here. They always enjoy to get some playing time. I always enjoy watching the backups get some playing time because they're out there playing hard no matter what the score, no matter how much time left in the game. So let's see if they can't get some more touchdowns.
Justin Mylander under center again. Tight formation, typical run here. And indeed, that is going to be a push up the middle for Demetrius Nunez. So that was a gain of what looks like 7 to me. and the clock continues to roll. 20 seconds left in the third quarter.
Yeah, I think that's going to do it here for the third quarter.
Indeed.
Probably not going to run another play.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I think that their job is to kill as much time as possible. Sounds like a job that I'd kind of like to have, but 7 seconds now in the third quarter, and as my partner Jason Patterson just said, that's going to do it for the third. We still have a fourth quarter of action, though. 63-31 is the score. Now, it's going to be interesting to see that this ball is going to get switched to the other side of the field. I can only imagine, though, Jason, that referees are going to try to hurry this along as much as they can.
Yeah, I would definitely think so. At this point, you're only risking injuries for all these kids out there. I mean, no offense at all to the Rodriguez Mustangs, as they have showed great heart in this game, but they are facing just too many points to come back. You're down 32 points with only one quarter to go, and you haven't even scored 32 points in this game yet.
Right.
So,
and I think that is kind of the telltale. That is what tells the story. Is that I mean, Vacaville coming in undefeated, Rodriguez coming in defeated completely, 0-3 in league play. And it seems like they're just out of their league here. But like you said, the tiring of that running attack is really what did it. Now here's going to be a draw up the middle, and that looks like it's going to go to number 7 for Vacaville, Daniel Mewborn. Ball crosses the 50-yard line, and it's third and short.
it's beginning to get a little chilly out here. I can smell the fires in the fireplaces.
Yep.
It's beginning to get a nice smell. It's got a nice little chill in the air. 11 minutes, 20 seconds to go and counting in this game.
Now it is a run to the far side, and the spot is going to mark it a first down. So we get down toward 11 minutes. And again, it looks like the backup quarterback, Justin Mylander, his job is to come out and get the play and make sure that he kills the right amount of time. 9:47 p.m. locally as a rush goes off to the right side.
One thing I have noticed with the Vacaville Bulldogs, no matter starting lineup or their backups here, is they are quick. Once they break the huddle, they get to the line and they snap the ball in probably under 3 seconds. You could start paying attention to that at home and count it down if you want. But watch when they break out of their huddle here. They get the play in through the quarterback and their wide receiver. Their wide receiver runs out wide. Quarterback runs in, tells the team. They get to the line and snap the ball within 3 seconds. It's pretty quick. It's efficient. I like it.
Yeah, it's a sprint to the line of scrimmage. It's fun to watch as the ball's handed off to the fullback, and he is pummeled by a few Mustangs with some, looks like some good-spirited helmet slaps. Like, honestly, that's probably not the best way to phrase it if it's good-spirited, but on that run there was Demetrius Nunez, and it seemed like I don't know, kind of almost like the good game shakes are starting already. 9:35 on the game clock.
I'm going to do a countdown to see how quick they actually get to the line and hike the ball after breaking it. Let's see what it is. I'm calling it's definitely under 3 seconds. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000.
It's 2.5 seconds. You got it about right. Fullback position again. Rushing for the first down on third down, so that's going to keep the clock moving even longer as we get to just over 9 minutes on the game clock.
Yeah, even this second team offense for the Bulldogs still moving the ball nicely, getting first downs, almost methodical, just constantly moving down the field, picking up what they need to move those chains, not trying to do too much, just trying to keep those chains moving, keep that clock moving, and see if they can't go home and start partying seeing as it's a Halloween weekend, so I'm sure these kids got some things to do this weekend.
Especially this black and orange roster, as we've seen a lot of Halloween spirit going on out here in Vacaville, California. Looking back at the Rodriguez High schedule, their 2 wins on the season. One was at Whitney High School where they won 48-0, and the other one was against Fairfield where they won 40-12. So they've had success when they've had success, and I think that honestly, like it shows kind of what happened in this game. There were moments when they looked brilliant out on the field. They did great things, but the rest of the game it didn't seem like they could really keep it together. As a draw goes over to the right side, going to be 3rd and short.
Yeah, one thing you had said, they've scored about 40 points in both of their wins. Scoring 31 points here tonight, it shows that they can score, but it all depends on if their defense gives up points or not. As both of those games, you said they won one by 0, or the team they gave up no points, and another one they gave up 12. So basically, for the Rodriguez Mustangs, it's seeming like it's a defensive tale. If their defense shows up here on Friday night, they tend to do pretty well. Even though they only pick up 2 wins, those 2 wins are definitely solid wins.
As a rush again goes over to Daniel Mewborn.
That's another first down on a 3rd down. So, like I said, even being the second team offense for the Bulldogs, just constantly driving, picking up first downs, moving the ball, doing exactly what they need to do here late in the 4th quarter, up by just so many points. I like that they're taking as much time as they can to get the play in. They're getting it in. They're getting into the huddle. They're doing their break quick to the line, hiking it, getting 4 to 5 yards every play. That's exactly what you want here from your second team offense so late in the 4th quarter.
We're getting up to just halfway through the final quarter. As an end around goes to number 41, a great fake going to Michael Walker.
Wow.
And he is going to score.
I wish we had an instant replay option here so I could show you how nonchalant he looked handing that ball off to Michael Walker. That was number 8, Justin Mylander, who was the quarterback. It almost looked like it was a fake to the guy he actually handed it to, how nonchalantly he handed him the ball.
Yeah, I was actually really impressed by how good of a fake that was. I think that is what got Michael Walker into the end zone.
Yeah, that was a great play by Mylander and Walker. So another touchdown here up. If they put this through, they have doubled their average points per game here this game.
And the kick is up and good once again. So, not 40, not 50, not 60, but 70 points are up on the scoreboard. 10 different touchdowns coming from the Vacaville Bulldogs, which is a blowout in basketball, ladies and gentlemen. So 6:26 on the clock.
Yeah, 70-31. This is definitely the first game I've covered that has gone over 50 points.
Yeah, this is a different level of blowout that you really see.
So 6 minutes, 26 seconds to go here in this game, with the Vacaville Bulldogs leading the Rodriguez Mustangs 70-31 here in Vacaville, California, on a nice evening for football. Friday night lights.
It's getting down just past 60 degrees. I think it's around 57, 58 the last I checked.
It's almost time to bring out the hoodie.
Yeah, it's getting there. I'm glad I've got sleeves on. Stay tuned, though, for the postgame show, where we will pick our player of the game. As the weather is actually, I'm just being informed by our production team, dropped down to was it 52 degrees? 62. As a return attempt from Austin Kindle gets to the 7-yard line. And the clock is running for those of you tuning in at home, so this game is expected to be ending in just 6 minutes. You know, that for those of you who are unfamiliar with the rule, if a team is up more than 34 points, my apologies, 34 points in the fourth quarter, then the clock will continue to run It will not stop for out-of-bounds plays. It will not stop for incomplete passes. So it's just kind of a mercy rule. And now finally into the game is actually Miles Saunders, the team's backup quarterback. We got to see him a bit earlier. From the pistol set, a powerful throw goes over everyone's head. Number 13 for Rodriguez High, Kenny Fowler was the attempted receiver there. And it's going to be second and long with just over 5 minutes.
Looking at this roster for the Rodriguez Mustangs, they got a lot of juniors, a couple of sophomores, a few seniors, but a lot of juniors. So a fairly young team, not too young, but definitely a lot younger than most teams you see out there, coming with so many juniors.
So here is a drop back pass, and he's going to somehow stay on his feet. Good play there coming from Miles Saunders. And 4:40 on the game clock, third and long.
So, Greg, who are you thinking is going to be our player of the game?
It's going to be tough to pick. I think we can just actually start talking about our players that have really impressed us. Nick Ardave, he kind of had a few mistakes throwing the ball, but he was so nimble rolling out of the pocket that he would open up so many options. And, Jacob Teo and Curtis Goins are really a 1-2 punch that should be feared by anybody in this conference.
Yeah, I agree for sure. But if we're going to have to pick one today, if you're going to ask me, I'm going to say my answer is number 4, Jacob Teo for the Bulldogs. I've said his name quite a few times today. He's been involved in some defensive plays. He's playing a safety on defense, so he's got a couple sacks on defense, a couple good plays on offense. He took that kickoff for a touchdown, even though it was called back.
It was called back, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's been all over the field as Teo. So if you ask me, I'm going to try to get number 4 up here in the booth for an interview after this game.
Now, numbers 54 and 55, you've been talking about them a lot. Kenny Spencer and Nick Lacey, they are typically the ones in playing the two defensive tackle positions. As on offense right now, Miles Saunders is trying to get the correct play from the sideline on 4th down. 4th and 7 with 3 minutes to go on the rolling game clock. And the punt is going deep, and it's going to bounce toward midfield. So just under 3 minutes, and there was no return, but the clock is going to continue to roll. I mean, I think with the rolling clock, it looks like that Vacaville is going to be able to come out and just take a few knees, and that should pretty much do it. So the ball's set at the 50-yard line. Now, as you mentioned, there were a lot of great players coming from Vacaville High, but I do want to try to give some credit over to Rodriguez High. Gage Ely and Hashim Boyd, really some workhorses, both on defense, on offense. Hashim Boyd had both interceptions for Rodriguez High.
Yeah, I agree. Don't also forget about number 15, Aaron Short, who has the 2 long receptions
Indeed.
for touchdowns. So
definitely a favorite target for somebody else we haven't mentioned, Jacob Hurt, who honestly I don't think played that bad of a game, but he didn't seem to have enough time in the pocket to really do anything. As we get down past the 2-minute notification moment.
Yeah, I wish we had the equipment to interview 2 kids, because I definitely would bring up number 54 and 55, Lacey and Spencer, for the Bulldogs if we could do 2. But since we can only do 1, why not go with Jacob Teo?
I think that's going to be it, and we will do our best to get him up here for the interview. So please stay tuned.
I'm sure we could get one of those 3.
I know. I'm sure there are plenty of players in the game for Vacaville. I'm sure that we can get some people up here, and thank you so much for tuning in as we do get past under a minute and a half on the game clock. And a run goes to the left side for Demetrius Nunez again. So it's getting to that point. We want to thank you for tuning in. We are going to step aside for a minute once this clock ticks down, and then we'll be back with some post-game stats and post-game coverage. I mean, let's be honest, we've already been doing some of the post-game stuff here right now. But we'll be covering future schedules, what this looks like for, honestly, Vacaville, who has to be quite interested in some playoff potential.
Yeah, they're definitely looking good for the playoffs. This is going to be their 4th win in a row, and like I pointed out earlier, they have just been blowing people out. Their last 3 wins, they won 49-7, 56-8, 35-14, and now a 70-31 win. Going against Wood High School next week will be their last game for the Bulldogs. So they're going to try to go out and blow them out as well and make it 5 wins in a row to end this season. So good looking schedule, or excuse me, good looking record for the Bulldogs. Seeing as they started the season winning 2, then they lost 3 in a row, and now they have won 4 in a row. So definitely looking good are the Bulldogs.
So we'll be back with the player of the game interview. Final score 70-31. The Vacaville Bulldogs putting a beating down on the Rodriguez Mustangs. We'll be back with postgame right after this. And hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the PlayOnSports.com YouTube broadcast of this win. Vacaville High coming out, bringing out 70 points, and a lot of that has to do with Jacob Teo, our player of the game. Jacob, how you feeling tonight after this win?
I feel good. You know, it was a rough game in the beginning, but we had to come as a team.
Yeah,
to finish it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, the visiting team, the Mustangs, they came out with that quick first touchdown. They were up 7-0, and from that point on, how'd you feel about the game when you were down 7-0 in the very beginning?
I felt like we just had to turn it up and play as a team and do what we do.
And you guys, what you guys do, you do really well. You are now 4-0 in league play.
Yes, sir.
And we were really impressed watching you guys up here. I mean, even your second team was playing well in the second half. But looking at this win, you know, you started off in the season. You have had 3 losses prior to league play. What do you think your team has done differently when the record started to really count?
We definitely just looked at what we were doing wrong and just fixed it and put it together and did as a team once again.
That's it. Yeah, and keeping it simple. That's the way we like it up here. So again, congratulations, Jacob Teo.
Thank you.
Great game for you, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
thank you. We'll be back with more post game after this. Good job, buddy. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Greg Cotta alongside Jason Patterson. You know, we had a great night here. The final score ended up being 70-31, and so we do want to give some credit to the Rodriguez High Mustangs. But Jason, in the end of the score tells the whole story, right? I mean, it's 70 points in a single game. It's just unreal.
Yeah, I agree. Rodriguez came out and they started the game with a good pass, a slant play across the middle to Aaron Short, I believe his name was, and he caught it for a touchdown, took it all the way. Vacaville came back, answered real quickly. They ended up answering with a total of 28 unanswered points, I believe, until they were able to score. Was Rodriguez. Pretty much it's just been the whole game was Vacaville score a bunch, Rodriguez score 1, just to try to keep it a little bit close. Vacaville proved to be the more dominant team, proving their high rank in our section. Definitely curious to see how they do come playoff time, because they got Wood next week. I believe it's at Wood.
Local rivalry.
So that's going to be a good game. Wood's coming into this 4-4, so Vacaville's coming in with the advantage. I would say that Wood being the underdog. So if Vacaville can get one more game under their belt, I'd say they're going into the playoffs with if they win next week, they'll be on a 5-game win streak to end their season. So they started with 2 wins, lost 3 in a row, won the next 4, and they got 1 game left. So Vacaville's looking really good here towards the end of the season.
They're honestly looking great, and now while they move to 4-0, on the other side of the field, Rodriguez High moves to 0-4. So they still get to have 1 more game to the season, but that's pretty much going to do it. And speaking of pretty much doing it, that's going to do it for our post-game show. Tune in next week. We've got more high school action coming from the Sac-Joaquin section. Greg Cotta, Jason Patterson, have a good night.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful.